in the heart of the forest, where the shadows stretch long and the air hangs heavy with the scent of damp earth, a haunting sight emerges. A deer, once a symbol of grace and beauty, now marred by a grotesque affliction. Its flank is a canvas of horror, a gruesome wound teeming with barnacles, those unassuming crustaceans that have taken a macabre twist in their quest for survival. As we peer closer, the stark reality of nature's brutality unfolds before our eyes. The barnacles, typically found clinging to rocks and ships, have found a new host in this unsuspecting creature. They thrive in the moist environment of the deer's skin, burrowing into the flesh with a tenacity that is both fascinating and repulsive. The wound is a grotesque amalgamation of flesh and shell, a stark reminder of the unyielding cycle of life and death that plays out in the wild. These barnacles, once mere specks of life in the ocean, have adapted to a terrestrial existence, exploiting the soft skin of the deer as their new habitat. Their sharp, calcified shells dig deep, causing infection and immense suffering. As they multiply, they create an ecosystem of their own, a twisted microcosm of life and decay. The deer, weakened and in agony, becomes a living testament to the harsh realities of survival in the animal kingdom. It is a brutal reminder of how the innocent can fall prey to the relentless forces of nature, where beauty can quickly turn to horror. But what does this say about the world we inhabit? As humans, we often view ourselves as separate from this cycle, believing that we hold dominion over nature. Yet, in our pursuit of progress, we have encroached upon the habitats of countless creatures, disrupting their lives and creating imbalances that lead to such grotesque infestations. The barnacle-ridden deer is not just a victim of nature. It is a reflection of our own failings. We are intertwined in this web of existence, and when one thread is pulled, the entire tapestry unravels. So, as we gaze upon this dark spectacle, let us not forget the lesson it imparts. Nature is a relentless force, indifferent to our notions of morality and beauty. The barnacle, in its grotesque glory, serves as a reminder that, in the grand scheme of life, we are all just hosts in a world that thrives on chaos and survival. And perhaps, just perhaps, the next time you take a stroll through the woods, in the vast, rugged expanses of the American plains, a dark tale unfolds, a tale that intertwines the raw beauty of nature with the grotesque realities of survival. Here, we encounter a bison, a majestic creature once revered as the embodiment of strength and resilience. Yet, this bison bears a horrific wound, a testament to a chilling encounter with nature's most relentless architects, wasps. The wound is not just a mere scratch, it is a gaping, festering nest, a grotesque amalgamation of flesh and insect. Bison, once a symbol of untamed wilderness, now stands as a canvas for the harsh realities of life, where beauty and horror coexist. As we delve deeper into this unsettling scene, we must confront the unsettling truth about wasp infestations. Wasps are notorious for their aggressive behavior, and when they find a host, they can turn a living being into a breeding ground for their young. In this case, the bison's flesh has become an unintentional nursery for these voracious predators. The wasps, with their relentless stings and insatiable hunger, infiltrate the bison's skin, laying their eggs in the soft tissue. As the larvae hatch, they feast on the living flesh, causing unimaginable pain and suffering. It is a brutal cycle of life, where the host becomes a mere vessel for the continuation of another species. This gruesome symbiosis raises profound questions about the balance of nature. The bison, once a dominant force in its ecosystem, now finds itself at the mercy of a tiny insect, illustrating the fragility of life. It serves as a dark reminder of how quickly the tables can turn in the animal kingdom. The wasps, in their quest for survival, reveal a chilling truth: nature is not always kind, and survival often comes at a horrific cost. And as we reflect on this unsettling scenario, one cannot help but draw parallels to humanity's own relationship with nature. Just as the bison suffers at the hands of the wasps, so too do we often exploit and harm the natural world, leading to our own downfall. Perhaps, in this grotesque dance of life and death, we find a moral lesson hidden within the shadows. The next time you swat away a pesky wasp, remember you might just be interrupting a dark, yet natural process of existence. After all, nature has its own sense of humor, albeit a rather twisted one. In the heart of the African savanna, a chilling scene unfolds. A majestic leopard, revered for its grace and cunning, now bears the marks of a gruesome encounter. Its once glorious coat, a tapestry of golden spots, is marred by a horrific wound, a deep, festering gash on its flank, the result of a beehive's wrath. The very sight is enough to send shivers down the spine. How did this regal creature, a symbol of strength and agility, find itself in such a grotesque predicament? The answer lies not just in the physical injury, but in the unsettling relationship between nature's creatures and the relentless forces that govern their lives. As we delve deeper, we discover the nature of the wound, a gaping hole, swollen and oozing, surrounded by a swarm of angry bees. These tiny, buzzing marauders, seemingly innocuous in their daily pollination duties, have turned into a nightmarish infestation. The leopard, perhaps too curious or too hungry, had unwittingly disturbed their hive, triggering a defensive frenzy. The bees, armed with their stingers, launched a full-scale assault, embedding themselves into the leopard's flesh, leaving behind a cocktail of venom and infection. Each sting is a reminder of the lurking dangers in the wild, a testament to the brutal laws of survival, where even the mightiest can fall prey to the smallest of foes. But what drives these bees to such aggression? In the animal kingdom, territoriality is paramount. The hive is not just a home. It is a fortress, a sanctuary for the queen and her brood. The bees, in their collective instinct, perceive the leopard as a threat, an invader in their sacred space. The wound, now a breeding ground for infection, becomes a metaphor for the delicate balance of life. The leopard, weakened and vulnerable, is caught in a web of nature's design, an intricate dance of predator and prey, of life and death. As we observe the leopard's struggle, we cannot help but feel a pang of empathy. This creature, once the apex of its domain, is now at the mercy of an infestation that is both repulsive and fascinating. The bees, while causing suffering, are merely acting on instinct, driven by the need to protect their hive. In a sense, they are the unsung heroes of their ecosystem, performing a vital role in pollination, yet their actions lead to the suffering of another. This paradox raises profound questions about the nature of existence. Who is the true villain in this story? Is it the bees defending their home, or the leopard, seeking sustenance in a world that offers no guarantees? As the days pass, the leopard's condition worsens. The once proud animal now limps through the underbrush, its strength sapped by the relentless assault of the bees. The wound festers, attracting scavengers and predators alike, a grim reminder of the cycle of life and death that plays out in the wild. The leopard's fate hangs in the balance, a stark illustration of nature's indifference. Yet, amid this darkness, there is a glimmer of hope. The leopard, resilient and fierce, fights against the odds, embodying the spirit of survival that defines the wild. In this tale of horror and resilience, we are compelled to reflect on our place within this intricate web of life. Humans, often seen as the apex predators, have their own hive to protect, our environment, our resources, and our very existence. Yet, in our pursuit of dominance, we often forget the delicate balance that sustains us. The bees, in their small yet impactful way, remind us of the interconnectedness of all living beings. The leopard's wound, a grotesque symbol of nature's brutality, serves as a cautionary tale. We must tread lightly upon this earth, for the sting of our actions can reverberate through the lives of others, both human and animal. In the end, as we ponder the fate of our leopard friend and the buzzing swarm that brought it to this tragic state, we are left with a darkly humorous thought. Perhaps it's time for a new rule in the animal kingdom. Never poke a beehive, especially if you're wearing a coat that screams, "Look at me." Nature, it seems, has a way of reminding us that even the smallest creatures can deliver the most painful lessons. in the desolate expanse of the Arctic tundra. A haunting sight emerges: a white fox, its once pristine coat marred by grotesque affliction. This creature, a symbol of the wild's beauty, now bears a horrific barnacle wound that tells a dark tale of nature's cruelty. As we draw closer, the chilling reality becomes starkly apparent. The fox's skin is a battleground, pockmarked with the hard, crusty shells of barnacles. These marine parasites, typically found clinging to rocks and ships, have somehow found their way onto this land-dwelling predator, creating a macabre juxtaposition of land and sea. The infestation begins as tiny larvae drifting in the water, seeking a host to latch onto. This white fox, perhaps drawn to a nearby shoreline or simply caught in the crosshairs of nature's chaotic web, becomes an unwitting victim. Once the larvae attach themselves, they begin to secrete a strong adhesive, securing their grip and transforming the fox into a living canvas of decay. Over time, the barnacles grow, feeding off the fox's nutrients, causing pain and suffering as they dig deeper into the flesh. The once agile hunter now struggles, burdened by the weight of its own body, each movement a reminder of its grim reality. The grotesque sight of barnacles festering on fur is more than just a disturbing image. It is a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of life and the often brutal consequences of survival. As the fox roams its territory, the barnacles continue to thrive, an uninvited reminder of the ocean's reach into the terrestrial world. Each barnacle is a testament to the fox's plight, a symbol of the relentless struggle for existence that defines life in the wild. But as we observe this tragic scene, a dark twist emerges. The very existence of these barnacles, thriving on a creature so far from their natural habitat, reflects the impact of human activity on the environment. Pollution and climate change have altered ecosystems, creating pathways for species to invade territories where they don't belong, leading to suffering not just for the fox, but for countless other animals. In our pursuit of progress, we often forget that our actions ripple through the fabric of life, causing unforeseen consequences. So, the next time you see a barnacle, perhaps you'll think twice before calling it just a sea bug. After all, they might just be the harbingers of a much darker story, one that reminds us of our place in this vast, interconnected web of life.